Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
We are back here with child and family consultants and Joseph Werner joining us once again, who's the owner, and they're from Melbourne, Florida, an amazing practice that serves so many in the county. Melbourne, you're from, and want to point out Brevard County is the county that you serve children, family consultants specializing in all sorts of different therapies. I'll have the man who in charge explain that to us. Joseph, welcome back. Tell us a little bit about what you do.
Welcome back. Well, thank you for having us today. And so, Child and Family Consultants is a pediatric outpatient rehabilitation clinic, and we work with children from infancy all the way through young adulthood. And we work with children and families who are dealing with issues like autism or attention deficit disorder, learning disabilities. And also mental health issues such as anxiety, depression, conduct disorders, feeding disorders, and so forth. So we have a nice wide variety of children and families that we help every day.
Beautiful. And who's this beautiful guest next to you?
Well, I wanted to introduce one of our great staff here. This is Heather Morway. She's a certified occupational therapy assistant. And I will let Heather tell you a little bit about herself.
Perfect. Go ahead.
Nice to meet you. Thank you for having me.
Same here.
I've been doing pediatric occupational therapy for 7 years now, and it is exactly where my heart is, where it is. And I came from a corporate world in my previous background, and I came into this environment, and it is exactly where I'm supposed to be. I absolutely love working with these kids and young adults, and it is just an amazing experience.
Beautiful. So tell me specifically what you do with the kids, the type of therapy. Go ahead.
Well, we do different types of therapies, like bike riding. I recently had a client who rode a bike for the first time with us, and it was exciting. Seeing them go from that reluctance of, and that lack of confidence, and now, he jumps on the bike and he zooms around, and it's an amazing feeling just watching them succeed and seeing those successes. And sometimes it happens slowly, and sometimes it happens on, and those big jumps. And but one of my favorite things to do, I'm an artist, so anytime I can incorporate any sensory play, paint or Orbeez or sculpting or glue, stickiness, all of the fun things, those are my favorite types of activities.
Thank you. That's interesting. I love that. That's so cool.
Yes.
And what else did you want to share about what you do there at the practice, and about Joseph, and about the whole practice in general?
Well, we have an amazing staff here, and I can honestly say, we're connected like a family. And if we have questions, we can ask each other, professional opinions, and we get the really great feedback from one another. And Dr. Joseph is a wonderful mentor, and we can come to him when we have questions or concerns, or just in general, if there's things that we need help with, he's right there and available to assist us and teach us and help us through, some of the things that we're learning through. Because if we have some, especially a client that comes in and has, a disorder that we're not familiar with, if it's a rare genetic disorder, we can definitely talk and discuss the disorder with Dr. Joe and figure out the best methods of working with that client. And our office staff is absolutely amazing. They take care of us and make sure that, everything runs smoothly, so that our schedules run smoothly. And so it really is. I've worked at a few different places, and I have to say, this is a wonderful place to work. I enjoy working with everyone here.
Do you want to share some of the experiences you've had with some of the children that you've been working with, doing the art and the wood making and all?
Well, we have some kids that love diving in. They're seeking that sensory. So, they
Mhm.
love making slime. And so we'll make the slime and we, stick our hands right in the bowls and mix it all around. Or, we'll do some cooking activities and they get to mix and use those gross motor skills and those fine motor skills to help cook, a snack or, something in the way of life skills. Or like I mentioned with the bike riding, which is amazing. Or you see some of these kiddos that come in and they're nonverbal, and then you see like the progress that occurs, where they start making sounds and they start making, start sounding out those words, and then before you know it, now they're putting a couple of words together and sentences. And so it's pretty neat, seeing the progression of the kids and seeing them be successful with their goals.
That's amazing. Oh, I have a 6 and an 8-year-old. Joseph knows I told him that, 2 little boys. And actually, one has a little bit of a neck issue. I got to start him on physical therapy still. Just
Mhm.
it's sore, or whatever. But I also had so many friends benefit from these type of things, the fine motor skills. My nephew needed to work with someone when he was little, and how playing with these certain toys helped him. And it's just, so you clearly are passionate about what you do. You love children, you love animals. You have a dog, right?
I do have a dog.
I searched you on the website.
I do have a dog. And also, as a mom, my youngest daughter is also autistic.
Oh,
And
see, I didn't. It said your family and dog. You didn't say. I don't. Okay, okay. Tell me. I didn't know you had kids. Go ahead.
yes, we actually, between my husband and I, we have 6 kids. And we have 3 adult children and 2 that are teenagers and one that is a preteen. So she's
Oh
11,
my
and
goodness.
she comes here and she's seen a couple of different of the therapists here. And I have to say that as a parent, seeing the progress that has happened and working with her therapist, because I don't want to wear that therapist hat with her. I want to be wear the mom hat with her, but I can understand and I could support her therapist,
Mm-hmm.
and I can do things at home, and I can work with her through her deficits and see her successes also. And it's been amazing. And the progress that she's actually made in the last year and a half that she's been coming is just unbelievable. I am so proud of her. And we actually have conversations about, a year and a half ago, we wouldn't have been able to do this because it would have been a meltdown, or, we wouldn't have been able to do that because, it would have been an issue. But now her coping skills have improved so much. She's doing fantastic, and it's definitely through the support and the therapy, and it's amazing watching that side of it as well.
Beautiful. Great to hear that. Oh my goodness. Oh, I'm glad I asked. What else did you want to share for us today about working with everyone in the office and the young adults and children that you work with?
Well, I want to just kind of reiterate a lot of what Heather was saying. The process of children and their families coming in for therapy is very much a team effort, and the parents and the kids are the primary members of the team. And the therapist, the occupational therapist, the speech therapist, and even our office staff, we're basically sort of like catalysts to help the family and the kids sort of be able to be their own agents to improve their own abilities and skills. And we really encourage this relationship model where we
Mm-hmm.
make a connection with the kids, connection with the parents. We let them know that, they're not coming in and we're going to sort of fix them. But what we're going to do is we're going to help them understand each other and help them identify each other's strengths so that they can help each other, because a lot of the issues that the kids have are things where they'll probably have them for quite a while, and as the kids get older they'll meet new developmental hurdles. But
Mm-hmm.
if we can help the parents become better problem solvers, and if we can help the parents um, learn how to understand where their kids are coming from, and if we can help the kids learn how to be able to recognize their strengths and
Mm-hmm.
how they can use their own abilities to help overcome the areas where they're struggling a little bit, And if we can help them learn how to communicate their thoughts and their feelings to their parents and their teachers, then we've set everybody up for success, not only
Mm-hmm.
in the short term, but in the long term too. And healthcare is really a team effort, and if we want to go even further than that, it's a community effort. So our role here at Child and Family Consultants is working with individual families and kids, but also we take a very active role out in the community, trying to help community health systems deal with things again like autism or learning disabilities or attention deficit disorder, because we feel like we have a role to help out and participate in the community as well as the clients coming in here to the office.
Beautiful. And remind us how we can reach out to you again. Website, phone number, any contact pages.
Sure. The Our phone number here at Child and Family Consultants is area code 321-768-6800. And our email address is childandfamily@cfl.rr.com. And that's all spelled out, childandfamily@cfl.rr.com.
Thank you. And what else did you want people to know about your practice, Joseph?
Well, I wanted to bring up a couple of the really cool activities that we use here at the office. And one of the most fun ones is something that we've come up with called shaving cream skating. And that kind of sounds fun even when you hear it, I think. But we have these large foam mattresses, and we spread shaving cream all over the mattress, and then we have the kids take their socks and shoes off, and sometimes we take our socks and shoes off, and we have the kids start to stand on the shaving cream, and then they start to move the shaving cream around with their feet, and before you know it, we see if we can get them to figure out what kind of tricks and maneuvers they can do with the shaving cream. And although that sounds like a kind of silly activity, it has a really lot of good purposes behind it. One of those purposes is that sometimes we have kids who are very sensitive to things that are touching their skin. And playing with something kind of messy and even a little bit slippery, it gives them a chance to get all this nice tactile information in and helps them be able to deal with more sensations. But another reason we do that activity is sometimes we have the really active kids, and these are the kids that their motors going all the time. And if they're going to be successful doing shaving cream skating, what they have to be able to do is they have to be able to slow themselves down. Because if they take too many quick steps, then go plop, they'll
Mm-hmm.
they'll boink right onto the mattress, and of course they'll get up again. But what they learn is that if they slow themselves down, they can control their body, and then they can skate across the mat, and they can maybe even jump, or they can do twists and turns. But they've got to be able to slow their bodies down in order to be successful.
Mm-hmm.
And you can tell kids all the time to slow down, but that doesn't really something that they can integrate. But if you give them concrete experiences where they notice that if they slow down, if they're careful, if they
Mm-hmm.
think their way through something, then what happens, they realize that they can be successful, and that's when they really integrate it into their body. So the success they have with
Yep.
shaving cream skating, or the success they have with slowing themselves down so they can walk across a balance beam, or that they can do roller skates, then that's something that they can incorporate when they're in school or when they're at home or out in the community with their friends, because they've had these nice, clear, concrete experiences where they've seen themselves be successful and what it takes for them to be successful.
Beautiful. I love it. I love your gleam in the eye. You guys love children and yeah, and helping them. There's so much about it that just brings me joy, brings all of us joy, especially during the holidays, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, this is the season where we tend to focus a lot on kids, and of course that's important, and we all want to get presents for kids and make some of their wishes come true when it comes to presents. But there's an old saying that applies at Thanksgiving and it applies at Christmas too, where it's not what you're serving at the table that matters. It's who's around the table and how they're talking to each other. That's what really matters. And sometimes in the holidays, we get so busy, we forget sometimes that we ourselves, parents and teachers and adults, and we're the agents of change with kids. And a lot of times what kids really need is our attention, and they need our abilities to sit down and get on the floor and play with them, or take walks, or make go out to go fishing, or in Florida go surfing and swimming. But it's that individual attention, that attachment between parents and teachers and adults and kids, that really helps kids feel good about themselves. It helps build resilience in the child. It helps build safety and emotional support. And all of those things provide the ingredients that the child can really be successful with. So along with the idea of making the holidays nice with all the music and the meals and the presents, it's always good to remember that the most important agent is still the individual parent and adult and grandparent and aunt and uncle. That's the greatest present that the kids will have.
Beautiful. And by the way, you're also on Facebook, right? It's under Child and
Yes.
Family Consultants.
Yes.
Yes.
Perfect. I don't know if you guys do updates on there or not, but just saying. I was looking over some great reviews on your website, and people clearly love coming to you. You've had clients that how long is your longest client? Like, because some people really stay with you for a long time, right?
We do. We have had a couple of clients who have been here 10, 12, 15 years. Now, they may not come consistently all that time. However, they'll come back for therapy for a while, then maybe they will manage quite well, but then some other issue comes up down the road, and they need a little bit of a spark, or to help us get them going again. And we've seen children, for example, when they were 6 and 7, and then they'll come back because they're having some issues in college, and we'll work with them to help them get through their college program. We had a client in that situation who was going to medical school, and some of the difficulties he had as a child were arising again, and he came back for a sort of a refresher in therapy to help him cope with the issues going on in his medical school program. And we've had one gentleman who, when he came here when he was 12, and he was nonverbal, and after we were able to get him to actually learn how to speak and take care of himself, and he's now living in a home that his parents have bought him, and he has a caregiver that helps him. And just a couple of months ago, he came back because the family was hoping to give him a little bit of a refresher, so that and now we're taking him out to restaurants and getting him comfortable in the community again. And he's having some good progress there, and the family is now starting to take him back out into the community. So yeah, we're fortunate that families allow us into their lives, and they feel like they're making enough progress that they're if an issue comes up down the road, they feel like they know where the support
Yeah.
is, and they can come back to child and family.
Beautiful. We love this. Aw. And by the way, the team down there, would you mind just sharing how many therapists do you have, and the staff? And how many years have you been in business in this exact location?
So in this location, we've been here for about 31 years.
Wow.
And we currently have 3 office staff, and who are amazing. And we've got let's see, I believe we've got 7 occupational therapists, and we've got, I believe, 6 speech therapists. And we're a really well integrated team that collaborates and communicates and supports each other really well. And so we're really fortunate to have that, because sometimes you don't always get that type of team where everybody's on the same page.
Very true. And it brings, look how she can't stop smiling. All of your staff, I met, who did I meet last time? Who popped in? Was it Pam?
You met Miss Pam. She's our
Yes.
office manager, Pam Miller. Yep.
You guys seem like such a great niche, a great tight unity, like a place I would want to work and be a part of, which makes the clients and the patients especially so much more happy. I wish a lot of other businesses operated this way. It would make everyone so much happier, right?
Yeah, and we also want to make sure that the families feel comfortable, because it's, if you have a child with a special need of some kind, or there's some stress within the household, everybody comes in a little bit of anxious and nervous and worried, not only the kids but the parents too.
Hmm.
And if we can make everybody feel comfortable from the beginning, then again that sets the table for both the child and the family to make good progress.
Beautiful. And by the way, if you are just tuning in, you all serve which area, which county? And, people come to you just from your area, or do people come out of state or from different counties sometimes to take advantage of your services?
So we serve families that are in Brevard County, Florida, which is the east central coast of Florida, about an hour south of the Kennedy Space Center. But we have families that drive up from the county below us, Indian River County. And occasionally we've had families that drive to us from Orange County, which is just
Hmm.
west of Brevard County. And we have clients too that sometimes they don't live in the area, but they might be taking vacations in summer vacations here at the wonderful Melbourne beach resorts, and we're visiting family, and their kids will come to see us during the summer.
Great. So occupational therapy along with speech therapy. You mentioned hands-on sensory. Then
Mhm.
on your notes, I was reading there's people with feeding issues. And again, you are a specialist with autism.
Yes. Yep.
And could you share some more details about those clients in particular that have autism and the way that your company is prepared to handle every aspect of them? And as a mom, you could chime in as well on this matter.
Heather, you want to start?
Well, I've also been certified through IBCCES for 4 years, which is an international business of credentialing and continuing education standards. And so I learned a lot about autism through the certification and hands-on experience. When I first started going to school, I knew exactly what I wanted to do. And that was pre-diagnosis for my daughter. It was shortly after I had already decided I wanted to go into pediatrics that she was diagnosed. So it kind of went hand in hand and solidified my decision. And so I didn't look back. And so I love working with the staff like Dr. Joe. He's been working with the population for so many years that, I just don't think that there's, you can have too much knowledge. There's always new facts, new published works that come out that, evidence-based research that gives us new information on how to better help our clients and this population and our kids.
And we're I'm also the director of something called the Brevard Autism Coalition. And that's where we bring together medical professionals, educators, service providers, parents, and individuals with autism. And we try to support those kids and families. And we also support the providers too. So we not only, again, work with kids who have a variety of issues that can be part of the spectrum of autism, but we're also very knowledgeable about working with the community and helping community organizations, again, provide information, education, therapy services, evaluations, and just a lot of information to families. You can imagine, say, a family moving into this
Mm,
area of Florida, and they've got a child who has autism, and they are unsure of what schools to go to, what
yeah.
therapists to go to, what doctors to go to, where can they get help for different things that child might need. And they would be able to go to the Autism Coalition, and we could help direct them to services that the family would be find very helpful to them, and again make them comfortable coming to a new place and letting them know that there are
Yeah.
healthcare professionals and educators who are ready to support them.
Beautiful. Well, thank you. We are just about out of time. In closing today, how did you all want to leave off?
Well, I'm going to leave off with a quick story. And so the quick story is that there's places in the world where people seem to live longer and healthier than anywhere else. And those
Really?
places are called blue zones. And when scientists first discovered these blue zones, what they thought they were going to do is they were going to discover some type of dietary information or some type of exercise or work that people were doing to help them live longer and healthier. But to their surprise, what the researchers found was the key element to helping people live longer and healthier was that people who lived in these blue zones all felt as though they belonged, and they all felt that they were connected to each other, and they all felt they were valued by each other. So they might have different personalities and temperaments and different age groups and so forth, but the key was they all felt like they belonged and they were cared for and they were valued. And that's the thing that has helped more than anything to help people live longer and healthier lives. So one of the things that we try to do at Child and Family, and we try to help the community of Melbourne, is we'd like to see this area be a blue zone. We'd like to see everybody accept each other unconditionally and help each other and know that no matter where you're coming from, you are cared for and you're important and you belong.
Beautiful. Thank you again. And how can we reach you one more time?
So you can call Child and Family Consultants. Our phone number is 321-768-6800. And you can contact us on the email childandfamily@cfl.rr.com.
Perfect. Thanks so much. Pleasure having you here and meeting you as well. And looking forward to the next time we connect. Thanks again.
Thank you, Jill. Looking forward to next week.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house. And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.